Information fueled.
Opinion driven.
This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
6:08, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in to the second hour of your May 8th of 2025. It is Thursday. All right, so I had a crazy thought yesterday. I don't know, Joan, if you want to partake in this.
Okay.
Scott Bessent for president.
Oh.
I know that everybody loves Marco Rubio. I know that everybody really loves J.D. Vance, as do I. There's something about Scott Bessent that is so incredibly disarming. Did you see him yesterday? He was testifying.
Yes.
And he was testifying before the House Financial Services Committee. And that includes Maxine Waters and some other just nut job Democrats. Like it is, need some audio. It is the craziest thing. So we're going to go through some of this. He is incredibly disarming. And so, you follow me on X at Dan Mandis Show, but he's up there and they're testifying about international financial systems. But the Democrats, collectively, they just acted like fools, attacking him left and right. And of course, as you can imagine, DOGE came up with Maxine Waters. This is what that sounded like.
Did all the individuals working with DOGE who were given access to treasuries and CFPB's computer databases receive all of the required clearances and security training before they were granted access?
Again, they were granted read-only access at Treasury. There were two.
So let me just say,
DOGE employees.
Please, you can't filibuster here. This is
now one of the things that I don't know if you saw the actual testimony, Joan, but Bessent was trying to answer the questions.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, "You're trying to filibuster." It's like, no, I'm not. I'm answering the questions. If you'd like to talk about filibustering, look at yourselves in the mirror, because they were the ones that were filibustering and making speeches. All he's trying to do is answer the questions.
just say,
DOGE employees.
please, you can't filibuster here. This is not the filibuster playground. And so what you did was you let these strangers into our treasury with access to all of the data, all of the personnel information, and you just opened the door. Why'd you do that?
No, ma'am. They were Treasury employees.
Whoops.
So they're Treasury employees. So it's clear as you listen. There's so much audio. I can't play it all. I can't play all the audio. But as you listen to this and you watch the video, number one, she's reading all of her questions. Bessent is trying to tell her that the DOGE employees, and I'm air quoting, the DOGE employees were actually, yes, Treasury employees.
Are you saying today in front of this committee that all of them were Treasury employees, that the 25-year-old who's being identified, who worked for Elon Musk, was allowed into the Treasury? Was that person there?
He was a Treasury employee, as was Tom Kraus, the senior person on the DOGE team. There were only two people.
There were DOGE employees also.
Sorry?
Do you know? Were you aware that there were DOGE employees coming into our treasury getting all of our personal information?
Well, ma'am, there is no such thing as a DOGE employee. There were Treasury employees.
So, this goes on. And realize what we just heard. These were Treasury employees. So we have to assume that they all had the proper training and the protocols in place.
And the security clearance.
Thank you, Joan Jones. So all of these protocols were in place, and read-only protocols at that. So this is all about efficiency and cutting waste, which is what people voted for. So once again, you have the Democrats fixated, just like here in Nashville with illegal immigration. You have the Democrats fixated on process and not what is, quite frankly, the right thing to do, which is the proper spending of our taxpayer dollars. And so you've got all these people on the left, of course. This is what they do, right? They scream about process, which clearly, if you listen to Scott Bessent, the proper process was followed, which leaves the mission, which was cutting back on wasteful and fraudulent spending, which she apparently, Maxine Waters, doesn't seem to care. Then there was this final comment.
I tend to disagree with you based on the information I have. Has any information been downloaded by anyone working with DOGE from any of Treasury's or CFPB's computers? Answer yes or no.
Not to my knowledge.
You better learn.
Gentlewoman yields back.
Better learn. That's what Maxine Waters said. By the way, I love that she, I don't know if you picked up on this. I love that she shows concern because because she pointed out his age, right? The 25-year-old that is working for the Treasury, right? She pointed out his age, clearly believing that 25 is too young. Can we talk about being too old? I mean, if she's going to point out somebody's age on the younger scale, then let's talk about Maxine Waters and Bernie Sanders and certainly Joe Biden's age when he was in office and as they are in office. So obviously there is a lot going on, but that only sets the stage for what happened between Scott Bessent and a couple of Democrats out of New York. It is all straight ahead. It's coming up on 6:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. Weather goes today, a high of 76, scattered thunderstorms as well. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News, 61 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So you have this viral moment where this congressman, his name is Meeks. I should have looked up his first name. I don't know what it is. But Congressman Meeks out of New York. I want you to listen to this audio. And the joke is that Congressperson Meeks is not in on the joke.
Who was the president in 2024?
One believes President Biden.
One believes? You one of those non-believers that the election, the American people didn't vote?
I am not.
You're not? You said one believes?
One believes? So he doesn't get the joke. Because the joke is that Joe Biden was so completely out of it that he was the president. But he really wasn't the president, right? I mean, that's where Bessent was going. And everybody in that room knows it. Well, everybody except Representative Meeks.
Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States? And it should be abided by?
I believe in the Constitution of the United States.
So you believe in it without any second thought. You don't have to think about it. You believe in it and you would abide by it. Is that correct?
I have and I do, sir.
Okay. Well, do you know that a president has said he may or may not? He don't know?
And it goes on. So this guy Meeks, he's a little hard to follow, but the whole thing has Bessent. And I don't know if you noticed this when you're watching this testimony yesterday, but Bessent, he's got this sort of bemused look on his face. Like he's looking at these folks. Clearly, Scott Bessent is an incredibly smart man. And he's just looking at them like, are you really that dumb? And I will answer for Scott Bessent, yes, they are. And so they go after him. This is all, going on in testimony. They're talking about tariffs and a bunch of other stuff. There is a congresswoman, again, out of New York, well represented among the clown show that is this testimony yesterday. There's a woman named Nydia Velasquez. I hope I'm saying that right. I really don't care. But Nydia Velasquez, and she doesn't have a great grasp of the English language.
You were on CNBC on tariff. So tell the American people specifically which countries are you close to striking deals with?
I'm sorry, Congresswoman, but that would not benefit the United States.
No. I'm asking you a question based on the statement that you made on CNBC.
And I am telling you that it would be detrimental to the interest of the United States for me to answer that question.
Why would that be detrimental?
Because as the negotiations may still be in process as we speak, as we are not at the end of the week yet, I am sure that you, through your question, would not want to compromise U.S. negotiations.
Reclaiming my time.
So now during this whole time,
That's always the call. I'm reclaiming my time.
right, Joan, but I don't know if you saw this. This is part visual because during the whole time, and you can see it. Follow me on X at Dan Mendes Show. I posted this. You got 3 guys that are sitting behind this representative, and they're constantly whispering questions in her ear, like what to say next. So if you listen real close, I manipulated the audio so you could hear it, but listen really close. You hear the guy behind her whisper, why, in her ear, and then she repeats it. Listen very closely.
It would be detrimental to the interest of the United States for me to answer that question.
Why will that be detrimental?
Could you hear that, Joan? Could you hear when he said why?
Oh, yeah.
I'll play it one more time.
States for me to answer that question.
Why will that be detrimental?
And so, and this happens like during the entire testimony.
And why? I think the why is, why does she need to be prompted like that?
Well, that's exactly right. It's almost Biden-esque. And then, of course, they started talking about China.
You said the U.S. has not started negotiating with China on tariff reductions. Does that continue to be your position, yes or no?
As you may have read,
yes or no, sir?
As you may have read in the press, I will be going to Switzerland, and the negotiations will begin on Saturday.
Okay, so the president told you that will be your answer today.
He just, so I don't know if you saw it, but he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to answer that, so he actually just starts laughing. And you can hear other people laughing as well, because this woman is so clueless. Then the whispering starts again. 3 guys behind this woman start whispering in her right ear. Now, could you hear that? He told her, ask who else in the administration is taking part in these negotiations with China and other countries as well. Listen close. Right? And so then, of course, she asks the question.
Who from the Trump administration is engaged in those discussions?
It is an absolute clown show.
Do you think she went in there not knowing anything and they were the ones that did all the research?
It is clear that she has no idea what she's asking, what she's supposed to ask, or the content in front of her. She doesn't know what to do.
It's like when Biden was signing like orders and he goes, what am I signing?
Yeah, that's exactly right, KGB. That is a great point. So it just,
when my husband and I were watching this last night, both of us said at the same time, and these are the people leading our country?
Exactly. Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Clearly the Illuminati, but besides the point.
So here's another question that's out there this morning. Did Congress cancel votes on DOGE cuts? Have you seen this controversy that it exploded on Twitter or X over the overnight and yesterday? Thomas Massey. Now, y'all know the last couple of days, man, I'm over the House. I'm over the Republicans, and I am ticked off as all get out. I'm not going to do that today. But Thomas Massey, right? Budget hawk, if I've ever seen one. He says that Mike Johnson and Republican leadership in the House of Representatives did indeed cancel votes quietly, they say, on DOGE cuts. They say that USAID and PBS and NPR were among the targeted cuts, and that GOP leadership quietly canceled the votes. Now, GOP leadership says that is not the case. I have not seen anything official. Joan, I don't know if you have as well. Just a bunch of people sort of piling on, quoting Thomas Massey. And I don't really know what the answer is. Massey is also, by the way, out there talking about getting the Department of Education eliminated as well. And so, you know, as we all talk about, we keep waiting for a lot of these things to get done. They just haven't done it yet. And so I feel like where I'm at right now, we'll have to see what's in the big, beautiful bill, the one big, beautiful bill. And I said at the beginning of all of this, I don't care if it's one bill, 2 bills, 5 bills, or 10 flippin' bills. You got to start cutting this crap. Trump wanted one beautiful bill, and I get it. So We'll have to see if they're able to get any of this stuff done. We'll have to see where it all goes. But I have not seen anything official, just X piling on that Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, decided to quietly cancel the votes on the DOGE cuts. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It is 6:23 on Nashville's Morning News. Joan, do you have anyone in there that is quietly telling you what to say?
No, I do not.
I don't either.
I say the things that are on my mind.
You know what? The show probably, quite frankly, would be better if I did have some prompting from somebody behind me, but whatever. All right, Joan is got the newscast at 6:30. Joan.
So we have some weather headed our way, and we'll bring you Stefano DiPietro's words about what we can expect today. Also, a really bizarre story about ants that I think we're all going to really enjoy. That's coming up here at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.